Hello, welcome to these tutorials. My name is Musa. For today's tutorials, we're going to look at CSS, which is Cascading Styling Sheet, for styling your www information security website. So, as CSS, advantage of using CSS make your website more flexible. CSS is quite reusable. Changing style sheet to changing design of many pages. Example, CSS garden. Here to maintain clear HTML code, separate style from tags, pages, and content. Consist looking across the entire website that is easy to maintain by changing style in one place. Sound is not uniformly supported by all browsers. Firefox AR2C to standard more than IA for those courses we are using Firefox. Adding style sheet. CSS allow you to add style to an HTML web page element. Example, color, size, position, information. There are two aspects to add style onto a web page via CSS. Specifying what the style look like, called CSS decoration. Naming the HTML or XML element to which the style applies. Referring to as specific, specifying the CSS selector. The declaration part look a bit like HTML as a look at rate, font size, background which is F with this IHFF, color, margin. This is a CSS declaration. The above CSS declaration takes an HTML element, added a background color, which is this is a background color, and margin changes the element, font size, and color. Add style. Caution: how does the browser knows which HTML element on the web page this decoration applies to? As you can see, font size, background, color, and margin is this declaration. Answer: we proceed declaration with the selector. What is selector? Like for example, body here is a selector. The font size, as you can see, the background, the color. This tells the browser to apply declare style to HTML, which is the body element. Okay, this is a selector. Simple type selector. Like for example, it says body, page, strong. These are selectors. Body, paragraph, strong. This is selector. Selector every instant of corresponding HTML element. This simple selector are commonly used. Okay. Selector all elements on a page can be used to combine with other selectors. Grouping selector. You can apply same declaration to a group of selectors by listing all of the desired selectors names separated by a comma. As you can see, H1, A2, A3, all to A6. Color should be this. Font family, okay. So like all of this one, they have the same styling with group selectors. Useful of selector related to how much specific you have selecting different part of the web page. Simple example, a personal web page, you must not want the same font color type throughout the entire body. You could use declaration with selector just for p tag, okay, which is paragraph. They say as it's taken all this for paragraph tag. But if you want p block in about section to look one way or the other, education section to be styled differently. Naming HTML element. There are too many options for HTML element. Assigning ID means names and class names. There are two IDs and class name. When you given an HTML element a class or ID name, you need to use that names when making the corresponding style declaration. The two options are very similar The class names approach is more popular, so we focus on that. Inside the ID declaration, as you can see, this is what name. The class is what big blue to follow a specific H1 tag. As you can see, H1 has the class big blue. Okay, looks introduction. This is what the class name. Inside the HTML now connecting the style declaration to specific class name, which is what my what dot should what with dot class name dot the class name is what at the syntax dot my bold and black looks font weight is what is style inside. If you want this style to be used only once, use what ID style, meaning what if you want to use only what is once, that is you can only use once within the
from
page what ID, which is what
as we have done with what with the select one. Let's see how we can apply this with a real sample. Assume you already have some familiar with some HTML work. So let's create a new project. As I wrote down, you can create what? You can use any browser or any other tool, editor. Okay, let me say this now is what? A very sample HTML what we already created. Please, if you need my other example of HTML, you can visit my other tutorial where I give the basic of HTML. This is a simple tag. Let's now try to apply some CSS. If you look at, for example, let's try to look at the inline. We have the inline, internal and external. For the what? For the internal, you have to have style. Okay, style. Now we can say, what? Let's say P H1 as what? Color to be what? White. Color to be white. So let's see. It's white. So now I'm gonna change because of all the default color is white. I'm gonna change the color to be what? Blue. Yellow. Let me see yellow. Yellow. If I'm gonna refresh the page, you see the yellow. It's what? It's called what? Internal styling. Okay. See, you can say the what? The background to be what? Okay, background to be okay. Let's see. Okay, change the background. So now this is what is it's called internal styling. Let's look at again inline. Now what we're gonna do? We're gonna what? Apply some inline where within the paragraph with is style. Okay, style. Let's say font font size to be, okay, then color, let's say let's say okay, let's say I don't know maybe what, let's see what's the effect to this paragraph. You see what, you know, if I, let's say I continue further, say background, background, okay, background to be, okay, blue. This one is called what? Inline styling. So now you see what? It's what? Change the background. Be okay. Maybe I further change the margin to be okay. If I say hard again, border, okay, like this. Okay, this is what? How we apply? We use for what? Apply to what? As you can see, this is what? Declaration. This is what? The selector, H1. Okay, so now we further continue. Now we're going to use another what we call, let's add dev tag here. Let's say Java let's say now let's add this. Let's say popular languages to study. Popular languages, Java. Okay, say again. Which one again? Say Python. Okay, Python like this. So we had a list. We had a list. So now we look at again the, say we have what? Popular languages to study is what? Is what? Is what? It's a, it already have now within the, we call it add what? We have two what? Select to type. Which what? Naming. We have class. Get in that class. Let me see what? Language, which is class. Okay. Okay. Language. Now we're gonna what? External now, which we're gonna use. Okay. Now we what? We have ID and what? Classes. Namings. Okay. This is what? This is a class. It also apply what? It also apply ID, which is what? It's called list. Okay. Now we have class, which is here. This is what? This I which is list. Okay, under this one. I also have ID details. Okay. So now let's add now. We're gonna add now external. This now it refers to the location where we're going to add what? The file. Now let's create another file called what? CSS under the folder CSS. Let's call it styles dot CSS. Okay. Now let's try to make the body body margin to background to be what? Okay. Now we have what? This just what for the body. Let's now apply this one to this where location is what? CSS. Then we have what? Style dot CSS. Meaning the folder is what? CSS and what the file is what? Style. Now let's see if what this we're going to reflect. Bam. See? Now what? We have apply external what? CSS style within what? Okay. Now let's try to use now the other name is which is what? We have class name languages. Now we have class name languages now. Let's say how to add class dot what? Dot languages. Languages will be what? Let's see font size 40x. Let's say font that style that you want to have. Let's say background color. Let's say color. Okay. Now other languages. Let's see what we got. We see this other languages here. This you see what? we extend margin, and the font size is what? It's now have this color. So now let's say now let's look at again what we have again what we have ID, which is what? List. This now let's have list. List now what? How to have list? This let's say text declaration none, then color okay. Now this is what we got. Let's see the list. What to get from the list? You see what? It changed. Wow. So you see, this is what we apply. If you can recap now from what we learned so far, we first look at the internal styling, which we had this one, internal styling. Then we look at again inline styling, which is within the tag. This is what is an inline. And again we apply external style, which we create a link to to the file where which is located where. From this we created, okay, this is a file we created, and this is the folder, this is a file from another external source, okay. And we we sorry we okay, this is the file we created, CSS, the folder style, okay. Now we apply again the class, which is dot, the class name, and the ID, which is hash ID, which is selector. This is how we use external file, okay. This is so far. If you have any question relating to CSS styling, please don't forget to message me at Code with Musa, or you meet me at my office place, or you contact me by my direct WhatsApp will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. I'm Musa. Once more, catch me for the next tutorial which will be more interesting than this. Thank you.